Here's your wrestling news for December 25th, 2022. And we're kicking off this festive edition of Slat Rock Wrestling with Drew McIntyre, who is set to miss tomorrow's WWE live event inside Madison Square Garden. McIntyre suffered what is believed to be a ruptured eardrum during the men's War Games match at Survivor Series, and WWE is in no hurry to bring him back to the ring. PW Insider has learned that McIntyre might have been able to work the post-Christmas live events, but WWE officials are being extra cautious with his condition. One source said that he will be beyond 100% before WWE clears him after he was medically disqualified ahead of the December 9th Smackdown. McIntyre had previously said he felt fine and wanted to compete before he was pulled, and there's no timetable on when he'll be back in the ring. Instead of a huge 8-man tag team match featuring McIntyre, the MSG main event will instead see Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman against the Usos, and we're wishing the Scottish Warrior a very speedy recovery. We all know that Brock Lesnar can handle himself in a real fight as he became one of the biggest names in UFC, but it's been years since the Beast Incarnate had to fight for real. Other than his one-off match at UFC 200, Lesnar hasn't had a legit fight since 2011, but that nearly changed in 2019. At that year's Crown Jewel event, Lesnar defeated Cain Velasquez, while Tyson Fury defeated Braun Strowman, and during a segment on IFL TV, host Kugan Cassius spoke about Tim Alec, a member of Fury's entourage who wanted a piece of the Beast. He offered out Brock Lesnar. It didn't go down too well, to be honest with you. It was in the corridor, and Tim was just looking over at Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar, according to Tim, said to him, "What are you looking at?" And he went, "What do you mean, what am I looking at? What, do you want to fight or something? Come on then." And then there was a complaint made about Tim over that comment, but Tim was saying, "I was ready." Fury hasn't competed for WWE since then, though did show up for Clash at the Castle 2022, but Alec was nowhere to be seen. As for Lesnar, he has continued to prove his dominance in WWE, becoming a 10-time world champion, but we're sure he could handle himself in a real fight if he needed to. This week, Lacey Evans was trending on social media for quite some time, but it wasn't because fans were discussing her impending return to WWE TV. Instead, Evans' name trended because of a controversial post she shared, which suggested that conditions like autism and attention deficit disorder didn't exist in the past and had been made up. While Evans immediately defended her post, she deleted her defensive tweets, but the WWE fans aren't as ready to move on. When WWE shared a vignette concerning Evans' return to Smackdown next week, fans responded by referencing her comments, with one saying that they used to be a fan, but WWE should now move on from the sassy Southern Belle. Others suggested that WWE should give up on Evans, who has had multiple absences and dodgy heel face turns this year alone, while another person said they got autism from watching the video. Another fan joked that they got ADHD from eating a corn dog while watching the video, referencing the initial post by Evans, which suggested that processed food causes attention deficit disorders. Evans will return to WWE TV next week, but she isn't likely to get a warm reception from the fans, and it remains to be seen how this will affect her booking. On this week's SmackDown, Ricochet and Braun Strowman defeated Imperium in a Miracle on 34th Street fight, which came complete with the New Day as soldiers and a ballerina. That ballerina has been identified as Ashley DM Boise, who is a wrestler in Maria Kanellis' Women's Wrestling Academy, and was congratulated on Twitter by Maria for her SmackDown debut. A top prospect in Women's Wrestling Army, which was founded in April 2022, DM Boise's future looks bright, and it's a good sign that WWE have already been willing to use her on TV. In his 3 matches with WWE, Logan Paul has wowed fans and won over the harshest of critics, but his actions outside the ring have got fans talking for all the wrong reasons. It was earlier this year that Paul expressed his enthusiasm for his game Cryptozoo, which in theory allows users to earn money online. Instead, the NFT-related game is being considered as little more than a scam to part users from their money, and Paul has gone on a blocking spree. As Keemstar, the host of the internet popular culture news show Drama Alert, has reported, Paul has blocked multiple YouTubers who have criticized him and his involvement with Cryptozoo. Paul has claimed that the problems with Cryptozoo are down to the developer, who reportedly wrote a working code for the game, fled to Switzerland, and demanded $1 million for the functioning code. Right now, Paul would rather be focusing on his return to the ring, which has been rumored for next month's Royal Rumble, but several YouTubers won't be hearing about his return or anything from Logan himself. Next week, John Cena will make his return to WWE to team with Kevin Owens against the Bloodline in his first and only match of the year. Ironically, Owens' main roster debut came by attacking Cena in 2015, and the two became bitter rivals, but the pair are now good friends. Speaking on the latest episode of the Cheap Heat podcast, Owens discussed his conversations with the 16-time WWE World Champion and a rather bizarre interaction they had at 1 a.m. You know, we text here and there, but really, I'm not gonna say that I use those emojis that he described, but it's a lot like that. We just talk about silly stuff and just mention, hey, remember when he had this match and this happened? Stuff like that, but we haven't really discussed the upcoming Smackdown just yet. We text here and there, but it's really silly stuff. He's very excited. In fact, the last text I got from him was, I love wrestling in all caps, unprompted. I think it was like 1 a.m. too. I have no clue. I don't really know where he was in the world. Owens is excited for Cena's return, as is the WWE Universe, but we hope that John lays off the 1 a.m. texts to ensure his partner is well rested for next week's epic tag team collision. After turning heel in September, Dominik Mysterio has turned his back on his family and has made it clear that his loyalty is to the Judgment Day, and especially Rhea Ripley. Dom and Ripley even showed up to the Mysterio's house to ruin Thanksgiving last month, but one Mysterio is fighting back. In footage shared by WWE, Dominik and Rhea tried their luck at ruining Christmas as well, but this time the Mysterios were prepared. When Dominik dared his father to hit him, a sick Christmas present as the Judgment Day members called it, Ray didn't rise to the challenge, but his wife Angie slapped Ripley. Ray and his wife immediately called the police, and Dominik was escorted away in handcuffs, all while Ripley protested what was happening. On Twitter, Ripley reacted to Dominik's arrest, saying that this year's Christmas has been officially canceled. Dominik has been goading his father into a fight for months, but Ray has moved his Smackdown to avoid fighting his own flesh and blood. But the Judgment Day members may opt to avoid the Mysterio household for New Year's. Since returning to WWE in 2018, Bobby Lashley has been a force to be reckoned with, becoming a multiple-time Intercontinental, United States, and WWE champion. Next year will mark 5 years since the Almighty's return, but it may also be his final year as a WWE superstar. At 46 years old, Lashley is one of the oldest superstars wrestling today, and it has been rumored that Bobby is considering retirement within the next 12 months. The belief is that Lashley has accomplished the 3 major goals he returned to WWE for: become a world champion, have a world championship match at WrestleMania, and face Brock Lesnar. Lashley is in incredible shape, but time waits for no man, and while a retirement would be disappointing for his fans, it is his health that comes first. We must stress that this is just a rumor that we have come across, and nothing has been confirmed by WWE yet, but fans of the almighty former WWE champion should enjoy him while they can. And we're ending today with Jimmy Jacobs, who spent years as a member of WWE's creative team before his shocking release in 2017. When the Elite showed up outside the venue of Monday Night Raw to film some content, Jacobs went outside to greet his old friends and get a photo, which didn't sit right with WWE management. Not long after, Jacobs was packing away his stuff after being fired by the company, and he's now revealed details about what happened at the time. Speaking on the Insider podcast, Jacobs said he knew that what he was going to do would not be received well, and said that he learned from Kevin Owens that the Young Bucks were outside. Jacobs initially never planned on sharing the picture online, but it was when he was sat in gorilla position during Raw that he decided to share it. He added, "I look back at it and I really see it almost like a child acting out. I wanted to get in trouble and then be like, well, he's good at his job, so let's keep him around. I wanted to just expand my wings. I wanted to go, let me just be how I am, however weird that is, so I took the picture. 25 minutes later, Michael Hayes, Road Dogg, Dave Kapoor, formerly known as Ranjan Singh, come to the room. They kick everybody else out. Dave's like, why am I seeing this? And I'm like, yeah, well, I wasn't thinking. Hunter's pissed about it. He wasn't happy about it, but he was cool about it. Hunter's a reasonable guy. Hunter's a smart guy too. It was Hunter's vision that saw independent wrestlers could be successful and really started to target them. Hunter's a smart guy and he's a reasonable guy, but he was upset about this, so I talked to him. He seemed fine with it." Jacobs thought that if he was able to keep his job during Raw, then he would be fine, and while he did make it to the end of the day with his job, he was called into HR's office the next day. As soon as he heard that HR wanted to see him, Jacobs knew what was coming, but said it was mostly a relief to get fired, given the immense pressure he was always under. Jacobs didn't sound too happy in WWE, and it appears that he deliberately got in trouble, and while the punishment for his actions may have been more than he bargained for, he's since landed on his feet with other promotions.